Hi budget babes, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here or returning, it is JaliyahKreationz, you guys. We're going to be doing a really good budget that I did on live last week that I had to repost to my YT channel, my YouTube channel, guys. We're going to be doing Jay's budget. Jay's goal was to pay off debt and just get more comfortable. They feel like they don't have any money left over. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a monthly budget, break it down to a weekly budget, and then we are going to do a debt payoff sheet. So let's get straight into it. I will have my phone on because I will be posting this on live as well. So hopefully this camera angle is fine. I know a lot of you guys don't like the camera angle when I do live in YouTube, but I think we should be good to go based off this angle. I am in my I'm in my bedroom today and not my actual office, so that's why the scenery is a little bit different. But yeah, guys, we're going to be using my 12-month budget planner as well as my Sweet Tarts calculators that I sell. So let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so we're going to be doing Jay's budget here. Jay's budget goal is to pay off debt. So Jay's monthly income after tax is going to be $31.26. $31.26 is the monthly income. So now we're going to go through and write out the bills here. So the bills that we have for the monthly budget. So on the first, we have rent that comes out. Remember guys, don't compare your budget to everyone else's. Everyone's numbers are going to look different. Your numbers are going to look different versus someone else's numbers, vice versa. So we got rent, utilities coming out for $150. Keep in mind, some people have roommates, some people have, everyone's expenses are going to look different. Let's see here, then we have gas here for the house for $70. Alright, perfect. So we got gas here, which comes out on the first for $70. And then we also, $215 here, for $29. I'm going to put these in order. We have car insurance, which is going to be $350. Then we also have the car payment, which comes out on the 15th. Which is also going to be $500. And then we also have the phone bill, which comes out on the 17th, which is going to be $60. Okay. Alright, I think we got it all. So we got the rent, the car payment, the utilities, the phone bill, the gas, and then the car insurance. Perfect. Okay, so now let's go in and write down our variables. So these are going to be our expenses that vary each month. So we got gas here, our car gas for $240. Then we have our credit card here for $60. And the credit card comes out on the 23rd. Remember guys, credit cards are going to be variable expenses because you don't always have a credit card payment every single month here unless you're using your credit card or you're working on paying off debt, and it could change due to interest. So then we have a firm here, which would be a variable as well. A firm comes out on the 19th. Perfect. And then we also have our East Bay, which is something we're paying off on Zip. So it's a Zip transaction here, which is $155 per month, which also comes out on the 19th. And then we got groceries here for $300. And then we also have fun, which is entertainment, fun, you know, going out, for $200 per month. Awesome. Alright guys, so we wrote down our fixed expenses and we wrote down our variable expenses. So let's add everything up for the month and see how much it costs to be Jay for the month. And then we're going to break this down to a weekly budget. So if anybody has questions on how to set up a weekly budget, this is the perfect video to watch. So let's get straight into it. So we got rent for $300, we got utilities for $150, we got gas for $70, we got car insurance for $350, car payment for $500, and then our phone bill for $60, which is going to be $14.30 here. So $14.30. Oh no, the sun is going down. $14.30 is going to be our total for our fix. Now let's go ahead and add up our variables. $240 plus 60 plus 76 plus 155 plus 300 plus 200 is going to be 1030. Let's see here. Or 1031. So let's do 1031 plus 1430 is going to be 2461. Thank you, budget babe. So let's go ahead and find our cash surplus. So our cash surplus is going to be the money we have left over after our bills and expenses. How we get this number, we take our full income, which is $31.26 minus $24.61. And I also want to put a quick disclaimer out here. A lot of you guys been watching my previous video where I did Kathy's budget, and you guys were saying that the cash surplus at the end of the month didn't match the monthly. Let's keep in mind, there's two things that can happen that can mess that up, or the budget could be thrown off. A lot of the times I do these budgets on live, so anything that a budget babe is telling me, I put exactly on the paper. So keep in mind, sometimes I don't post the video till a week or two later, so I'm going back and looking at the budget, and those are the numbers that I was given on live. So the budget was 100% correct. I think you guys were asking why was her income different from the weekly versus the monthly. Keep in mind, some months have 5 weeks and some months have lap over months. So when we start a budget for February here, because this is February, we'll have to close out our January budget. So some of the income that we got from January will come in our February budget, and we're going to see that breakdown on the weekly. So a monthly is just an overview. This is what bills come out, the dates, what we're total to spend for the month. This can also change depending on your variables. Some of you guys may put in your monthly that your gas is $240 and you wind up actually needing more than that. So it just depends on that. But the budget that I did for Kathy that's on my YT channel is 100% accurate. I know I've been getting a lot of comments saying, well, what about her monthly income or her weekly income? If I'm not mistaken, I think her weekly income varied, and I think it was her and her significant other were on different pay periods. I have to watch the video again, but just wanted to put that disclaimer out there since that video is still getting a lot of views. Let's go through and break this down to a weekly budget here. So we just wrapped up the month of January, but we're still going to put that January pay in here because the January pay is going to cover most of our expenses that come through the first of the month. So whenever you guys have a first of the month, you still have to close off your month. So let's say your pay period here, let me see, January 28th was the end of January. So January 28th to, we're going to do a Sunday to a Monday here, so to February 4th. So we get paid weekly here. Our weekly pay is going to be $799 per week. So let's look at what bills we have that come out the week between January 28th to February 4th. So right off the bat, looking at our monthly budget here, we're going to have rent that comes out for $300. So we got rent for $300. The next thing we have here is our utilities. Utilities will also come out as well, which is going to be $150. And then the next thing we have is our house gas, another utility, which is going to be $70. All right. So we got rent, utilities, and then gas here. So now we're going to go through and write down our variables. How much does our variables cost here? So it costs about $43 to fill up our tank weekly. So we're going to put $43 for gas, and then we're going to put some fun here for $50. Alright guys, so this is our total of fix for the week. And this is our total of variables. So this week is going to be a little tight because we have a lot of expenses coming out, and then we only bring in $799 this week. So let's go ahead and add up our expenses. So we got 300 plus 150 plus 70 is gonna be $5.20 for our fix. Then we got gas for $43, and then fun for $50, which is gonna be, ooh, this is supposed to be $45. My bad, you guys. I have my little eraser over here. $45 here. So it's gonna add an extra $2, which is gonna bring this to $93. All right. So 93 plus 520 is gonna put our full expenses to $613. So at $613, we're gonna go ahead and find our cash surplus on a weekly basis. So $799 minus $613. So we got a little tighter week here going on. So $799 minus $613 will be $186 that goes in our savings here. Why did I feel like it was smaller? Let's see. No, that's pretty accurate. 186. Hold on. Let me redo it one more time just to check my numbers. 520. 520 plus 93. Oh, it's 95. That's why. Let's switch this. It's supposed to be 95 because we updated the gas. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix that here. Okay, 95, and then 615 minus 615. There we go. So let's go ahead and do our math again. 799 minus 615 will be 184. There we go. 184 in our savings. All right, all right. Okay, so now let's get straight into the next week here. So the next week that's coming up is going to be February 5th to February 11th. We're paid weekly here, so $799 will be our income that comes in this week. So let's get straight to it. So let's go in and write our fixed expenses that come out this week. So February 5th to the 11th, what bills do we have that come out? So we have our car insurance, which comes out, which is going to be $350. So we're going to go ahead and write this in our fixed spot. Car insurance for $350. All right. And then our car payment doesn't come out to the 15th, which is going to be next week. But why don't we split our car payment in half so we're not putting too much on our plate? Our car payment is $500 and our weekly income is $799. So why don't we split our car payment and pay half here? So our car payment's $500. Let's put $250 of the car payment here. So the week of February 12th to February 18th, we'll already be ahead on our car payment and we won't have too many bills coming out. So let's go ahead and write our other half of our car payment here. So that way we won't have to use a big portion of our check at that same time, you know, overwhelming us. So we put our car insurance over here, then we put our car payment, half of our car payment here. At this point, we're gonna need groceries. So let's go ahead and put some groceries out of this check, which is gonna be $100. And then we also gotta fill up our gas tank, which is gonna be $45 again. All right, so let's go ahead and add that up. So 300 plus 250 is going to be 550 here. Oh wait, shouldn't that be 600? 350 plus 250. Yeah, 600. 600, okay. And then 145 here. So 600 plus 145 is gonna put us at 745. So we got a tighter week. We won't have that much left over this week, but that's totally fine. At least we saved ourselves some trouble from having so much going on this week. So, you know, it's not the worst thing because now we won't be overwhelmed. So let's go ahead and find our cash surplus. And once again, our goal isn't to have a lot of money left over each week. Our goal is to have a budget set up for us so we could be more financially secure. We're going to see our cash surplus at the end of the month, and we could use that to reach our financial goals, whether we're saving or paying off debt. So a lot of you guys are like, well, I don't have a lot of money left over again until I get paid. That's fine. All your bills are covered. We've covered all your bills and expenses for the week. So you having money left over isn't that much of a big deal. You had a savings up here, and then you also had a savings to the side. You're not always going to be able to save from every single check you get depending on your cash surplus. So let's go ahead and get ready for the next week. All right, so now we're looking at February 12th to February 18th. So we already paid off half of our car payment, so we're going to finalize the last half there. So we have our car payment that's due, and then we also have our phone bill, which is going to be $60 on the 17th. So let's go ahead and get that out the way. And then let's do the next week here. Okay guys, so our only fix that we have that come through on February 12th to February 18th is going to be the car payment and the phone bill. So now let's go through and look at our variables here. So now we have some of these affirm payments, this East Bay, and then this credit card will be coming up here as well. So my favorite thing about breaking down the car payment, imagine if we try to put so much. Imagine we had this $500 car payment and then we still have to pay. Look, we have our credit card, or we don't have to. Do we have to worry about our credit card? We don't have to worry about our credit card with this check, but the next check. But we already have a firm coming out, which is $76. Then we have East Bay, which is a zip payment that we're paying off, which is going to be $155. So 76 plus 155. And then we'll also need gas again this week, which is going to be $45. And then we're going to go ahead and put some miscellaneous / fun here for $50. But imagine if we didn't split that car payment in half. We'll already have a $500 car payment, and then we'll be trying to fit all these other payments in here. So if you're ever at a spot where it's really tight, see if you can split, guys. Don't try to put too much with one check. When I was doing Jay's budget, Jay was like, oh my gosh, I feel overwhelmed because, you know, I figured out what the problem was. You were trying to pay your car payment, your affirm payment, your zip payment, and gas, and still have fun with one check. Split them. Split them in half. You'll be good. So maybe take those bigger payments and split them with one check so you're not trying to put too much on your plate at once. So $250 plus 60 is going to put our fixed total for the week between February 12th to February 18th to $310. So then we have a firm here for $76, East Bay for $155, gas for $45, and then we also have miscellaneous here for $50. So this is going to total to $326. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and add up our expense total for the week. 326 plus 310 is going to be $636 for this week. Right, 636. So guys, we're doing the same thing that we do on the monthly budget. We're just breaking it down to a weekly budget. So the numbers are going to be pretty accurate. Now let's go ahead and find our cash surplus. So $799 minus $636. $799 minus $636 gives us $163 to put in our savings. Look at that. So one thing I do like about weekly and bi-weekly budgets, instead of having an estimate of your cash surplus for the month based off your bills, you also have your breakdown here. So your breakdown here, you can actually see what you're saving. So this is why I tell you guys to pay off your credit cards at the end of the month, because you can put all this in a savings, and then at the end of the month, see what you have left over to pay off towards debt. That way, if any emergencies come up, you didn't use all your savings to pay off debt, and then you're using your credit cards again. So just save all of this, put it in a savings account, and then at the end of the month, we'll go ahead and figure out which ones we're going to use to pay off our debt. So before we get to the debt process, we're going to do the last week of February here. Where did I put this piece of paper? Just because sometimes the marker doesn't bleed through, but it rubs off when it touches the other laminated sheets. So I'm just going to tear this really quickly so we have a border in between. So now we are down to the last week of February. So which is going to be February 19th. So February 19th to February 25th. We get paid again, which is going to be $799. So what bills do we have that's due between the 19th to the 25th? Let's go back and look at our budget here. So we have no fixed expenses. We already paid this, but we will have our credit card payment coming up, so we'll make sure this check is covered with that. But we don't have any fixed expenses. We always prioritize our fixed. So we're going to go ahead and write a big 0 crossed out. We already covered our fixed with the last one. Woo, woo, woo. So February 19th to the 25th here, we have our credit card that's coming out for $60. That comes out on the 25th, so we're going to put it with this check. And then we're going to go ahead and get some more groceries. We didn't go grocery shopping last week, so we grocery shop kind of on a bi-weekly standpoint here. And then we're going to need our gas again, which is going to be $45. And then we'll also need our miscellaneous. Let's go ahead and use some more of our fun budget. Which, you know what? We're going to go ahead and our fun budget for the month was $200. Let's go back and look at our weekly budget. I think we only spent... Yeah, we only spent $100 on our fun for the month, and our budget was $200. So you know what? This last month we gonna have some more fun. This last week of the month we going out with a bang. Yeah, let's go ahead and add miscellaneous / fun for $100, because we ain't reach our whole budget for that for the month yet. So let's go ahead and wrap up February. Let's add up our variables and let's see how much we have left over at the end of the month. So let's go ahead. 60 plus 150 plus 45 plus 100 is going to be $355 for our expenses. Now let's go ahead and find our cash surplus. So our total expenses were $355. Our cash surplus is the money we have left over after bills and expenses. So how the formula for that is going to be our full income and then minus our total of expenses, which is $355. Now let's go ahead and see what we got left over, you guys. So $799 minus $355 is going to be $444. So boom, this will go in our savings. And just like that, February is wrapped up, you guys. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we like to hear, okay? Alright, budget babes, that's the end of this budget here. I realized that this one didn't have a heavy debt payoff. We only had 3 things that we're working on paying off, which is the Affirm, the credit card, and the East Bay. The Affirm has a balance of $600 on it. The credit card has a balance of $1K. And then the East Bay has a balance of $1,500. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add up our full cash surplus for the month. We were supposed to have $665. That was the estimate for the month. So let's see how much we actually have left over. So we're going to go ahead and add up all the money we put aside after each week. So 184 plus 54 plus 163 plus 444. So our cash surplus is actually more this month. We had $845 left over. February did have 5 weeks on here. And then let me see. It looks like we only went grocery shopping for $250 for the month. Yeah, groceries $150 plus 100. So we did save some money on groceries. We didn't spend the full $300 on groceries, so that's where some extra money is coming from. And then gas, how much do we actually spend for gas for the month? 45 times 4 weeks. We only spent $180 on gas, but our budget for gas was $240. So this makes sense, guys. So the cash surplus, the full total cash surplus for February was $800 something because our gas, we quoted $240, but we didn't wind up spending the $240. We only spent $180 based off this budget. And then groceries, we set a budget for $300, but we only spent $250. Fun, we did the $200. So do you guys see how the cash surplus can be different or bigger depending on what you actually spend for the month? So we were quoted to spend $665. That's if we spent $300 on groceries and if we actually took $240 to spend on our gas. Based off the weekly budget, this is how much we actually spent for the month. So this is a good thing if you wind up spending less than you thought you were, so you have more money to pocket left over. But at least if we wind up needing to spend more on gas and groceries, we still have a little cushion there. So if we wind up going over, that's why this page is very important in at the end of our month to do our monthly reflection, is to write down how much we actually spent on each category. Because here we set a budget, but this is going to tell us how much we actually spent, and then we'll take our full expenses minus our income here and do our cash surplus, and that determines how much we actually have left over to put in our savings and to pay off debt. So if I was Jay, what I would go ahead and do with the money I had left over, I would go ahead and pay off Affirm. So yeah, the Affirm had a $600 balance. We had over $845 left over at the end of the month, so we could use that to pay off debt, and yeah, that would be good to go. Alright, budget babes, this is the wrap up of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope the angle was pretty nice. I'm gonna look at it again in a minute. The sun like literally just went down, but I hope this made sense to everyone that was watching here. If you guys have any questions, make sure you guys put it below in the comment section. Remember, this is starting to be repetitive again, so Jay will completely keep doing the same budget over and over again. This week right here from January 28th to February 4th is going to be the same week that's going to be here for this next week coming up for March. And then vice versa. Once again, as long as Jay is splitting those car payments, they won't have such a heavy week, and we'll start seeing that cash surplus over and over again. Thank you again for watching, budget babes. Make sure you guys like this video and comment what other type of videos you guys like to see below.